I said, don't let me down. I won't let you down. I said, don't let me down. I won't let you down. And we'll all hold hands and drink to each other's good health. And we'll all make plans to thank the Lord that we're born rich. And the more we
Welcome, Phil Langford, to the podcast, bringing our average age down of our guests. He was Mal, Phil's older brother, was meant to be here, but he won't mind me saying he's got my shits.
He's a little bit upset to me, but I had a phone call this morning. I think he rang me on the toilet. And I think Anita, his wife, is in the Salvation Army, and she said, look, I'm off.
Yeah.
I've got work to do.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh, I love him.
Fair enough. So he rang me. He sends his apologies.
Okay, we'll get him on another time.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on the podcast. We were talking a little bit about your career earlier. Back in the 70s, some of the legends you played with, Di Morris, The Shadow.
Yes, I was... my first game for Neath was 18, and I played one game up in Abertillery.
Was that 1918?
1918, yeah. And I played one game, it was something like in April. So that was the end of the season. And it was Neath centenary then, the following season, in 1971-72. So. And I was invited then for the squad to make up the squad. And the props there then was Glenshaw and Walter Williams and Keith Morris. Oh. And so I started off then in... I played that year, centenary year, 15 games. So I was happy about that because Walter would be picking his games, as you say, because he was trying to get into the Welsh side then, which he did eventually.
Yeah.
And of course Neath won the Welsh Cup, the Schweppes Welsh Cup that year. Although I never played in any of the games and the cup final, which is I played in the 84 cup final. Right. Mind the span between that, I was injured and I played. I had played a few games for Ebbw Vale. Well, it was near a season to get fit, and I couldn't get back in the Neath side until I was fit, obviously, and then I got back in the following year. But yes, I mean to play with the back row when I played was Wilson Lauder, played for Scotland. I think he had about 24 caps. And he was born, his mother was Scottish, and he was born, I think, in Llantwit Major. And he went to school in Bridgend, and who was the headmaster of sports was Graham Hodgson, who was the Neath full-back in Wales. And he had him to join Neath. And, of course, Di Morris. And Mike Thomas was the open side flanker who was just about finishing his career then, I think. Yeah. So the back row was unbelievable. Then Glenshaw and Walter Williams was the two props. Yeah. Norman Rees was the hooker. Yeah. Barry and Brian Thomas the second row. So you had a bit of everything in that pack.
Well, yeah, a bit of everything.
And I'm trying to place. The halfbacks. Martin Davis went on. Yeah. Only 500 games, 500 seconds. And the outside half, Di Parker and Wyn Davis was playing full-back outside half as well. So, little Di, they couldn't get over Di. But, I mean, we all know what that's about. I'll go on about Di if I can later on, what he used to do in the dressing room with us. And anyway, that was the centres with Glenn Ball, who was... he had about another 2 or 3 years in him, apparently, and John Poole. Yeah, he joined from Turbot, and he was a prolific goal kicker as well. And the wingers, Ken Collier, it didn't belong to the Ken Collier, them shops. And who's the other winger? I can't remember. Di Jenkins. Di Jenkins could play centre and wing. So they were very capable.
Elgin, perhaps, towards the end?
Elgin came after that, Elgin.
If you look at Abu, and we probably want to understand where Abu came from, but if if you look at that starting point with that great team, there was a great team, that team, and they won in 71 centenary, won the cup. And when I came along in 85 season, you were still part of...
I was still part of the... Yeah.
You were playing.
Brian said to me at the time after the cup final, he said, we just want to do half a season next year, if that's okay. And by the way, he said, you've been selected to go to South Africa with the Crauchetes.
Amazing.
And he said, in 85.
Yeah.
And it was in August, so... And Jeremy Pugh was coming down then to join the squad, And at that time, I was 34.
Amazing.
I was 34 at that point. So I went. So Brian was Brian. He tells you straight.
Yes.
And he works out how many games you're going to play. How many you know him.
Mm.
Of course you do. And so I went off to South Africa, and the props. Of course, the props that came was Ikey Stevens, British Lion. Graham Price, British Lion, and Wah. We played six games. Who played the most games? Because I could play loose or tight. I could cope, but tight head was my position. But great, and many British Lions on that side, and we had a great tour.
What was it like?
But I finished then. I did play with you.
We did.
We went with Sicily together.
Yeah, that was...
We'll go on to that after.
Yeah.
That was tasty.
What was it like scrummaging in South Africa? Because
I've jumped my career, actually, haven't I? But before I forget, if I can tell you, we were playing in Loftus where we couldn't breathe. That's the problem up there. And I'm walking behind. Crauchetes was playing teams like the provinces. To have the crowds then, they played 2 games. South Africa would follow us around and play the Barbers, the South African Barbers. So that guaranteed the crowd with Crauchetes playing the province.
Yes.
So you had 2 games. And walking out, and he said, look at the South African number 3 jersey, Graham Price said to me.
Yeah.
And I looked like that and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the size of them. And he said, we had the Lions when I came out. He said, they're just huge human beings,
Yeah, different breed altogether. So
yes, they were huge. They were big.
If I look at that transition, I know I mentioned a bit earlier, but having Brian as a teammate when you just started, and then because I can imagine it, saying a relay race. You were part of passing the baton on to the next, but you took it through that period where, after all those famous. These players sort of left. There was, I'm not saying because Neath always
we went downhill a bit then.
Yeah, but it also had. We showed the character that Neath had got, but it was just kind of a struggle until you had the evolution of Brian coming in then as a guru.
Yes.
So you went through that period and then sort of passed the baton on then to your Jeremy Pughes, John Davis.
Stuart Evans came there, and John Davis came there a little bit more after me, John.
Yeah.
But Stuart Evans came there, and Jeremy Pugh in the tight head position.
Yeah.
And we started. But I'll never forget that where we turned a little to the corner was the Cup year, 84. Yeah. And we played Gloucester away. And Gloucester were the top side then in the English. We used to play, the English, didn't we? And cut the story short, we beat Gloucester by 1 point at Gloucester. And Thomas was over the moon. We had Elgin Rees, Jonathan Davis, his first season, the cup final season. So we had a good sort of back up behind. Our backs were good, and we beat them. Never forget it. We had Randy's buses coming, at that time, no heaters, coming back from Gloucester. All the wives were meeting us, in the clubhouse by about 8:30. Brian decided to buy packs of Guinness and 4 bottles of port. Everybody on the bus now, even Elgin, drinking it all the way now. After an hour, Brian, okay, everybody, close off, everybody in the nude. So Elgin said, I'm not. Oh, come on, lads, now, don't, please. Oh, come on, Elgin. And the committee man took up the committee. Oh, I got an hernia, Brian, I can't. All right, you're okay. Let me have a look. Yeah, you're okay. So we're all stripped off now, right? Nothing on, like the Mary Celeste. No heater, right? And Elgin was there, oh, this is not funny. Di Morgan loved it, and Phil going around there. Next thing I know, stop the bus driver, what's up? Get your clothes off. Get your clothes off, driver. No, Brian, no, I gotta keep my badge. Keep your hat on then, and my fags. I got nowhere to put your fags under the hat, and put your badge on your hat. Driver, off there. Nothing on at all. It looked, and I was at the back, near the van, I looking down and I'm going, I've seen it all now. I've seen it all now. I mean, there were some sights. Port still going on. Anyway, cut the story short, that's Rory. Getting in by Bagler roundabout. Right, clothes on. Come on, get all your clothes on. Driver had to pull in. Yeah. But I said, stupid. He said, we were all up there now. We're getting some port. Next thing, story goes, clubhouse was full. Of course, the news had said we'd run away and all the way. Playing bingo in the hall when they always do on a Saturday. 2 people didn't put their clothes on, walked in with their clothes over there. Guess who they were? Di Morgan and Phil Pugh. Banned for 3 weeks. And we were awful sorry. And there was a couple of old grannies there playing bingo, and the balls were coming out of the... I'm sure one had a stroke, but the other one couldn't reach.
So like you're saying about that was the moment, there was but the cup final then, 84, that was, and Sparky got the... We should have, in that cup final, not because I was playing or whatever, my only greatest regret is it was boiling hot 84 on that day. And I never had a photograph, none of us did, of the cup final side on the ground. At the stadium, because Brian wouldn't let us out of the room. John Dawes was knocking the door. Okay, Brian, you can come out, have a photograph. We're running late. He said, we're not coming out now. I'm in the middle of getting them going. And he said, he just went. So I believe Clive Nolan was the ref then, and I believe if it happened today, Elgin was going over, scoring the try, we would have won that game, and he tackled him from behind, a real bad one. Terry Holmes. Right.
If you see if you see it on the television, and I regretted, today he would have been sent off as well. But I mean, that was you're talking about 84.
Yeah, at the time. Yeah.
So we were very unlucky in that cup final, and that the Gloucester game was the turning point of, and then you came in then, and the Mark Jones and we had that. Brian Williams, I never forget. The story goes, Brian was saying he'd never been out of Pembrokeshire until he commissioned. And we went then, didn't we? We had lovely swimming pools there, and they held out 2 weeks in Sicily. Anyway, they had kangaroo courts. Thomas was and what you should do is to make you walk the plank blindfolded, the diving plank. Anyway, Brian Williams was up for something. All the farmers would fight every night.
All of them.
All of them would be fighting every night against each other, and who would be older for something. It was a trophy.
Yeah.
Was you one of them?
No, I was rooming with Ghazi, right? And I remember being in bed like that. And it was like early hours in the morning. I could see the curtains of the patio doors like that. Ghazi coming in, and he was cutting his head, bleeding there, all scuff marks all over him. He was like, brilliant night. Because he was in part of that scrapping gang before they went to bed, like. And I'm like this, like in my bed, like that, doing my nails, like this. Be careful, put something on that.
I mean, we had anyway. So we had a court case then on a Sunday morning, and there were other families around there. Sicily, Mount Etna was up there, still smoking away. We ran up there on training session.
Yeah.
Anyway,
farmers went nearly to the top. We sort of they had the flip flops on. They stopped because the flip flops were melting into their feet. It was too hot.
And the ash. Yeah. The ash, Anyway, we were having this kangaroo court. Brian Williams now had to borrow, a swimming costume from somewhere from his mate. It was 1952 woolen ones. Well, of course, he smacked him with his palm tree, went into the water, all the water in the pool went in his shorts. He couldn't swim. He was drowned in these old-fashioned 1952. It was unbelievable.
And he couldn't, did he?
He couldn't swim, so they had to take him out there. No, it's not fun. Carl Gannayak, and then Carl was a great tourist. Well, he's out in Australia now.
Well, I remember, obviously, we played together out there. I played full-back against Catania, because Thorby and a few of them went home after we were there for 5 days. Game was in 7 days.
Remember
and they went home. So I played full-back. I had to stand about 10 metres in front of the back line so that I could go flat out. And then I'd be the timing, I'd be off the centre's shoulder. But if you remember there, right, if you will remember this, Barry Clegg, right?
Yeah.
From the time we left to the time we got back, he was absolutely hammered. Absolutely hammered. And he said, this is shit. This is crap. And it was like out of season a bit. You know, we were doing our thing, but he was like, that's great. Well, let's go somewhere a bit more life. This is crap. Right, and he's catching everybody, going into everybody's rooms. Like, wait, you want to go home, boys? They're going home after 5 days. We'll all go home after 5 days. Like that. Yeah, bullying us really, because Craigie was up there. He's quite old. Like, next thing you know, we call a meeting, and Barry said, like, I said, well, fucking meeting. Brian, we want a meeting. So next thing you know, Clegg is in the front, like, we're all sitting in this meeting room, like, on the chairs, and he's like, Brian, it's a shit, Brian. We're hating it. It's the worst trip I've ever been on. Me and the boys, we've had a guts for, we want to go home as well, because the other boys are going. And Tom was like, all right then, those of you who want to go home, put your hands up, please. And then Clegg, he's like, like this, and we're all like that, you know, like
no one else.
No, the Barry Clegg sort of comeback or whatever reaction to me not putting my hand up was going to be a lot less than Brian Thomas' reaction to me actually putting my hand up. So I was like that, and next thing Thomas like that. Yeah. One. I'm fucking Clegg's in the front. He's like that. You fucking shit houses. You shit houses. We're like that. No, we love it here.
I remember.
God.
There was no way. I was rooming with Elgin and Robert Hughes, all the speed, all that. You know, I wanted a quiet life, and it was, and Catania. Remember they smashed up the toilets and the dressing. Is that right?
No, you're right, because we went there on the day before to watch Palermo play Catania, and the whole pitch was in a big fence.
Yes.
The change room was in a big fence, and the stand was, there were all these sections like that. And you could see this old man standing by the gate when the teams come off, and the full-back of Palermo would kick the winning penalty. As he walked through this, and I mean, old little small guy, he had a bag in his hand. As soon as that full-back came through, he went bang and smacked him in the face with it, right? Like, I think it was a pair of boots or something. Big fight. Well, we went in the next day, and the whole change room was ripped, like toilets ripped out, sinks ripped over, you know.
I remember that now. That's what I said. I thought. I enjoyed the tour. It was great. Sicily was. We went to Messina Straits then, but it was great. 76 then, and I went to Jamaica with Nice. 76, and we played. I'm going back now. 76. We had a nice little side then, and we had 5 fixtures in 2 weeks. And we had to play up in the Cayman Islands as well. We went to the Cayman Islands to play, and I always remember we were playing, say, 5 o'clock when the sun had sort of, decreased, and then we couldn't. At 4 o'clock, the tide had come in, and all these crabs, and I mean crabs. I don't mean in your pants.
In your speedos.
In your speedos. but I mean, these huge crabs would come in, obviously, from the sea and dry off in the sun and then walk back to the sea. And they had to get these black gentlemen, and the committee men there, get clearing them off the pitch. So we had, it held the game up for about half hour. I mean, just because we had the crabs. Everybody was helping hand with the crabs.
So it was back in the days.
We played. It was a great tour because we went to see the cricket in Kingston. India were playing West Indies.
Oh.
And they had this, and I always remember it, they had this fast bowler called Michael Holding. He was a kid. No one can see the ball.
Yeah.
He was just bowling, was he? You know, he was just, and of course the ground was really hard.
Yeah.
So we went then to Jamaica, then flew to Cayman, and then back to Montego Bay, and then yes, it was the 70s and
the amateur days, isn't it?
The amateur days that we would, you know. It was great, Penzance, and going back to Di Parker if I can. I know I'm
No, you're fine.
sort of going forward too much, and then but you were reminding me, so I.
No, that's fine. It's age. It's
So
an
Di
age
Parker
thing.
was, you had to be on your oath, like in them days. You know, in the dressing room, they take your false teeth out and you put them in your sock. Any money you had, you put them in your sock. You don't have wallets underneath that, see, and you just tie your sock and you put your sock then in a plastic bag. And anyway, we'd go. There was no warming up like they were today. You know, you'd be out there for a half hour, and anyway, he'd do it a few times. He'd go in your sock and mix your teeth up. Put your teeth in your sock and put your if you had false teeth in your sock and he done about 3 times. But you had to be new as well. You see, you had to be new. There's no point. He did do it to me, you know, and he didn't do it after that because I'd know all about it. But then. You know, when you come out, you have a shower and all that. You come back, then you put the smellies on to go up the club, and you put your teeth. Fucking, there's a couple of them like this, and I'm looking across the dresser. Oh no, there's Di. There's Di.
Yeah.
He says, "Fuck, I've had a bang." He said, "Is this swollen? Is this?" I never forget that. He done it loads of times, but I seen it 3 times. And then all of a sudden, the following week, I think, there was a bloke called 6'10" in Swansea University, playing for London Welsh. He lived in Bedford. He was playing for London, and he was down here for 2 years, so they wanted him really. What was his name now? Anyway, he took size 16s in togs. Size 16s. And I'll come back to his name. But anyway, he played for Wales B in the end. But Di Parker, what did he do with the war? You know, we were on tour. His togs, he looked like Coco the Clown walking around in his size 16s. He only took size 5. Yeah. Size 5 in togs, and he was wearing size 16s. He was like but that was Di Parker. Great for team spirit and
Di's about 5'6", for those of you who don't know Di. He's a legend and a character.
Great player.
Yeah.
He was a great sportsman. He was a very good cricketer. He was, we know what he could do in rugby. And he was an all-round sportsman. He scored that try in the cup final. I know he went under his legs. I'm sure he did.
And when he's walking back, I remember Skip Gowen scoring against the Barbars. The ball looks as if it's like a joking oversized ball. A great player. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, we often talk, Phil, about the difference between the amateur era and the professional. And Rowley's career straddled the two of them, but you'd have played entirely under the amateur era. And you had fantastic tours. That's not financially viable now to go places like Jamaica, Florida. The boys went, I think, probably just after your time. So what any other tours that stand out in your career?
Well, as I say, Jamaica was brilliant. That was, and we went obviously to Sicily. I didn't go to Canada. I was injured, so they went to Canada in between them. That was brilliant. And a lot of teams were doing that then. They could afford to do it. The flights but we had teams like after the cup final of Neath winning. Then we had to go to Paris the following year to play it was called the European Cup. And of course, we play in Béziers, the champions of France. But because other teams didn't have I was talking to
cup competition.
They didn't have a cup competition. So we represented Britain, really, for the European Cup then. And we were flying out on the plane in Scotland. And Llanelli were playing the New Zealand and beat them on the plane. There was some booze on the plane, and the captain said, "I don't know if you're interested, but Llanelli have beaten the All Blacks." You know, but and what we done where we played it, we opened. They've done it at Parc des Princes. It was where Paris Saint-Germain play now. So we were the first to play or to open it really. and we played Bezier, and we lost 20. I think it was 24-19, but we had young kids in it. Like, I mean, I was only then, I would think 19 then. Glyn Shaw and Walter, Glyn had started having his first cap in that year against Murdoch, New Zealand, and so they were protecting him, I suppose. I was marking Vacheron, the Bezier prop. I marked him 3 times in my career and then came across him. I went out in playing for Glamorgan in Bezier. That story of Steve Dando, that was amazing. He said in his funeral.
Yeah.
They said in his funeral, Paul Thorburn said the story, but I played there. I was behind him when it happened. Playing for Glamorgan County, and Steve Dando, who wasn't with Neath then, he was a little bit struggling, young kid with Bridgend. And we had a nice little side, Glamorgan, playing Bezier. I don't know what the fixture was about, but cut the story short, anyway, Dando, slugs Palmier, and 2 second rows for France were huge, weren't they? They had all these bandages. Remember the Palmier and all that? Anyway, and what's the other second row now? Oh, huge bloke. Anyway, out. Knocked him out like knocking Thomas out on the knoll, in his prime. And everybody was like this. Oh, hold on. I said, he's had it, he's going to go off. Next thing, somebody bought smelling salts on. He started blinking. He came round, he was like a loony. Dando got sent off. Dando off, left us on our... Unbelievable. And he lasted about 10 minutes because he wanted to kick everybody and big beards on him, the French, and so we went and then they had about 7 or 8 internationals, and they won the championship, French championship, about 7 times in a decade, so they had the money at that time. But a great tour. That was a great tour, except they said, right, the day before, this is true, right, we're going to take you out for a little day. Nudist beach. Went to a nudist beach. And then they nudist? Oh, no, cricky, not happy with that. And they were all like little school kids now, when they were rugby. Took us to this nudist beach. Put us on there and left us there now. I thought, my God, we were like, what are we going to do? We haven't even got cream. We haven't got enough skins.
Yeah.
So we were like lemmings in the sea now for about 4 hours. Not like when you peel spuds and your skin goes like a frog.
Yeah.
And we were like this now, and all families walking past, all in the nude. The family, all in the nude, a nudist colony. And we were like, oh, so stupid this is. So Dan is, I'm starving. I'm starving, he said, I've got to go out. And all the squad, that was just there like about 3 foot high. So anyway, once one went down, there was a shop on the beach there, and they were nude in the shop serving, except for their hair had a net on, because they had cheeses, all French cheeses and all that. So we were in the shop now, we were all like this. We'll never forget it. And at Mars Bar we had, or something like that. We had a nudist beach, and they did that on purpose. But we talked about that for years after. And where's our clothes? So we had to walk out of there, then into the bus to dress. Unbelievable. It was good days, as you say. You could go with Crauchetes, you could go with Glamorgan or County, you could, on tours, and your club would let you then. Today it's all about insurances, isn't it?
Talking about obviously there's a strong connection between Neath and France and clubs in France, right? And obviously Thomas with his connection and all that stuff. But the hospitality went the other way as well, didn't it? Like Thomas used to get
in his house.
Yeah. Up in Tillamores, the haunted house overlooking Britain Ferry Rugby Club.
Well, yeah. So he said to me this one time, you're working for the MOD in the army, and can you get me cooking utensils? I said, I'm not a chef, but my mate. I know my mate. I'll ask him, what do you want? But he said, I'll give you the menu. And he said, you've got chefs at the army, tell them what utensils you want for that menu. The menu, starters, was stuffed darts, right? Liver, Right, the second on the menu. Then they had some chicken, something, whatever, and a little bit of greens. I was there. I was there up there. And there was about something like 15 Frenchmen, in his house on that big table.
Yeah.
And they were cooking, and I said, "Well, we'll try and get an army chef down here. Have permission to get an army chef."
Yeah, too.
And then we'll pay him then out of whatever, and that's what we done. And anyway, apple tart after and custard, and anyway, we saw the Frenchman the following morning. Hey, how are you? We've been living on the toilet all night. It was we run out of paper, and we were stuffed hearts. And he gave him everything that made him sort of.
Yeah, I remember Sally was telling me that one time up there, you were dressed as a chef. You were dressed as a chef. And the main part of the starter was lava bread.
Lava bread, yeah. I forgot about the lava bread, yeah.
And he said that the men and their wives there, all dressed up to the nines.
Aye.
And you were pot, lava bread.
And you know what lava bread is? It just goes, down it's black.
Yeah.
I forgot about that, yeah.
Sally was saying they were like all the women, I guess, like sort of. I was like that in that chef in the in the Muppets. I was like that chef, and of course that was a course. The next course then was stuffed darts or whatever, and of course it was mounting up these courses, and of course and half of them then was just shoving it on the side of their plates. Oh, it was so funny, but he knew what he was doing, what he wanted. And that was a great night, and a brilliant night that was, yeah. And we took them then to the game then, and they were ill then. They were not ill, but they wanted to go to one city.
Yeah, just enough to give you the edge.
They were heady days in that house up in Tillamorris. We were invited. Another time we were invited up there, and a couple of other Neath players, and he wasn't manager then, in fairness, and he was his best friend. One of his best friends, Brian, was Brian Price.
Yes, that's right.
Who was at that time BBC comment on the radio as well, with Phil Bennett was playing in Swansea. They were playing in a cup, and he was BBC Wales. He was commentating.
Yeah.
He'd been before lunch having a couple of glasses of wine at Brian's and a little bit of food before going down. Well, you should have heard his commentary. He was absolutely, he's really pissed. He was, I don't know if he got sacked after that, but then he had a driver then to come back up to Tillamorris, Brian's house.
Yeah.
And we were all like, what did you call Phil Bennett? What did you semi-final of the Cup, BBC Wales, Brian Price.
Commentator.
Oh.
Former commentator, Brian Price.
But that was Thomas's, nothing was too... They were great days. They were great days. And I always remember, because, we were from that area of Nice, where Brian was brought up, and... And Mal can tell some stories as well, my brother. But they were great times. They were great times.
So would you swap it for? Obviously, it's a profession now, and these boys.
I had because of my job as well.
Yeah.
Because of my job, I was as a mechanic, but now I wouldn't know where to start now with the cars today. But then I moved on, and I used to go to Cyprus, take a side out to Cyprus to play in the 10s every year. And I used to have a couple of Neath players sometimes to play in games, like Martin Davis, Wilson Lauder, against the British Army for the British TAs. Then it was, the reserve forces played at Twickenham. For them, they'd come up then, and Martin would play. We'd have to have special permission, like. Yeah. And so I used to go up then and play for because I was a civil servant as well, playing for the British civil servants. Well, cracking side. We used to train up. Who's outside half, Mark Ring, Adrian Hadley was on the wing. We'd go up to London. Many English stars, and we had a hell of a good side, British Civil Service side. And Now Mark Ring would go up then, right, expenses, we'd go up there and then right, Mark, what do we owe you? I was £100. This was now in the late 70s, 80s. £100, yeah. But what did you come by? Now he was working for the helicopter place, Mark Ring.
Right.
The helicopter place in Caerphilly, on that hill. I don't know what they call it.
I know the one.
It's on the hill as you go up to Caerphilly and over.
That's it.
And he said, I had a helicopter up here, he said. They dropped me off. And the bloke was looking stupid at him, giving him the money out there. And Adrian Hadley was working for the tax offices in Cardiff, if I'm not mistaken. So they were all there, and he said, don't tell the taxman. He said, he is a taxman. He was behind him. What did you have, 100 quid? He said, 100 quid as well. In them days, I mean, it was a lot of...
Yeah.
But they knew to have a good side, you had to have a little bit of... they were great days, and playing for different teams. Then towards the end of my career, then I got selected for the Welsh Vets out, at Bermuda.
Yeah, I've been...
I went 4 years on the trot. And I always remember my mother-in-law saying, would you go into the same place for again?
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful place I've ever been to.
It's amazing. It is amazing.
Bermuda, and did you...
I've been there a couple of times, or twice I've been there.
With the vet?
With Alan Martin.
Alan Martin's vet, yeah. But it got then, they wanted to get rid of Scotland, England, Wales... and the British Lions, and they went.
I went as classic Lions.
Classic Lions, yeah. So, but when we went, it was against all. And I never forget. Paul Ringer is my mate then, because I had a season with him with Ebbw Vale, and Clive Burgess was the back row. Yeah. Clive Burgess and Paul Ringer. And I just under a season I had, because I couldn't get in the east side because I was injured. And Thomas wasn't there then, but Denzel Williams rang me and said, look, we were looking for a tight head, can you come up? What a side Ebbw Vale was then. And it was... so Paul Ringer then was... he done that stupid tackle on Horton. Yes. He got sent off at Twickenham. Anyway, about 2 years later, we were playing out in Bermuda against England. Who was outside half? Horton. Paul Ringer zooms in on him. Yeah. Oh, he zooms... He went up to him. And said, "Hey, have you had a good couple of years?" He said to him, "Remember me?" And John, a lovely bloke, like like water under a bridge. Yeah. Oh, he gave him chip. He didn't do it. Yeah. Just fun. And 1 year then we played New Zealand. Alan Martin said, "Right, first line out, we all jump out." Of the line out, Orton, Andy Hayden done to us. Yeah. So he said, but we all jump out. We all jumped out. The crowd were roaring. Yeah. The New Zealanders got no. Let's say, yeah. But we had some lovely times and silly times there as well. Oh, we actually beat South Africa in the final, right? But South Africa, I think the year after. Because 35 is the 35, you'll be over 35. And I think they then turned up, I think, the year after with a squad that were probably 35 or 36. Just finished 34 and played out there. Yeah, they were, it was sort of took the fun away from it. It was great, because you go for nothing, and your wife paid not much then, something like about £300, and they'd stay in a Elbow Beach Hotel. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I stayed with the family. I did. I stayed with the family. I stayed with the family then the last twice. Yeah. But Alan Martin and all of them was Elbow Beach Hotel. Yeah. And we trained on the pink sand. Yeah. It was great. And as you said, going back to your question, all right, money wasn't a thing for me. I had a good job. But I saw the world as well from what rugby was about. Yeah, it was a hobby, and it was doing something you love. Absolutely. And fair play to the boys now, they're getting paid to do something they love, but a lot of that fun element is taken out of it. Now it's a job. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's. I mean, the Croatia tours to France, man, and you meet the Irish internationals they pick. And I mean, that second row, that huge second row, what was his name now? Anyway, he was so drunk on the tour, he only kicked off one game. What's his name? He was a huge, 6'7" Irish captain. Oh dear, there's Moskeen.
Right.
Moskeen.
Yeah.
He was drunk all the time right through, but it was good fun.
Yeah.
Spiky Watkins and all them. You know, you enemies for an hour and a half on the pitch, and then back there.
Friends.
So, and also going...
It's great.
Moving into the other big part of your life is Proud Day recently with Alan Wyn Jones's...
with the army, honorary colonel.
Yeah.
Well, I had a couple of phone calls saying that they're proud to have him. He's the highest cap player in world rugby.
Yes.
170 caps or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they need a name like that to keep them in the limelight. You know, the army. And he looks the part of the photograph I saw anyway.
He's he's an impressive looking guy, isn't he?
So he'll be in the forefront of anything that they do and non-combat.
Yeah, non-combat. Yeah.
No. But I'm sure he'll turn up on some.
Definitely, yeah.
It's great it's a Welsh regiment.
Yeah.
So it's great for Wales, that Welshness, and yeah.
But what rank did you get to?
Well, that's the top. Honorary colonel is
the top of the...
yeah.
And that's
not the top in the British Army. I mean, but you can brigadiers after that. But I'm sure that the king must have wrote to him on.
Yeah.
I hope he didn't telephone him because someone said, "Yes, a king here. Look, yeah." So I'm sure that it's King Charles here. Can you imagine that phone call? So it would have been his secretary, most probably. Still, he would have said, "Hey."
Yeah, it's not business about though.
No.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's fantastic.
And yeah. And of course, then Glyn Shaw became captain. You know that story. I told that in the clubhouse when the Hall of Fame. That story when he laid the laws down. That story.
No.
I told it in the clubhouse.
Yeah,
About he had us all in the back room there in July, and he said, "Right, as you know, I'm captain now for the season." And he said, "This is what we do now. When we play over the bridge, no one goes home till at least 7:30. We stay as a squad, team spirit. No one goes home." And with that, we had an old committee man then. He was something like 89, and he said, "Glyn." He was the chairman at the time. "Glyn, we're only playing 2 games over the bridge." He said, "That's Saracens and London Welsh." Glyn said, "Shut up, you knob," he said. I mean the ferry bridge. Oh, true, sorry. I mean the Britain Ferry Bridge. So that means every away game.
Yeah.
Basically. I've only got 2 games.
That's brilliant.
So that's my sort of.
Well, no, and
what I can remember.
What you just alluded to then, but we were at the club, obviously, which is proud for yourself and the family, and well overdue for your induction into the Hall of Fame.
When I had the phone call and it was, I thought somebody was messing about
King Charles, yeah.
And when I looked at who are on that board,
yeah.
With jokes aside, it was
Legend.
amazing, and I from people, all right, I didn't know like Dr. Whittington, but still I read up about him. What he was he was a massive name, and he was a cricketer for England as well, I think, dual, and from grammar school. I may be wrong there, but the names on there are unbelievable. Himself but it's good. It gives you that loyalty there, isn't it?
It's nice. It's down for life now. It's there for life.
And it's on the. It's not as quick as Wimbledon. Once you win Wimbledon, it's there then within a minute, isn't it?
But I think from what we just spoke about now is yourself. It was overdue, well overdue, and there's still a lot of others well overdue as well. But
it's difficult because there's only 6. It's only 6 a year. But I mean, it is hard to select it. But what's wonderful is it's the supporters that select it.
Yeah.
And okay, some get old, some die, and you were forgotten then, and. But at the end of the day, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling when you.
That was a great night, wasn't it? It was packed in the club there.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it must have been. It must have been about 150 up there.
Yeah, it was full room.
And then
The best speech of the night was Alvin Morgan.
Yeah.
The best speech of the night. I couldn't understand him. The Trabanos table checked him out.
Arwell Thomas.
Arwell Thomas. Arwell Thomas, what did I say?
Alvin Jenkins, you said.
Arwell Jenkins. Arwell Morgan.
I don't know what you meant though. He was paralytic. I don't think he knew he was going to speak. They wanted to do a Q&A with him. They were trying to tack him up, the Trabanos boys.
A great bunch, my name.
They look at that.
Good fun.
My mate is he's a manager of the Ospreys. He's in the army. Die 5'7" we call him. He's on the he's with the millboard on the side there always.
Okay.
Davis. He's been there years, and of course the kit manager is Sean McAuliffe, who's my mate's son. And Sean's a great bloke.
Yeah.
And been to Afghanistan twice.
Wow.
As a regular soldier.
Yeah.
So you've seen that side of life. Yeah. But they're very worried at the moment, as everybody is, with the amalgamations and the talk. Jobs will
be affected. Yeah.
So I'm not going to go down that then, because I don't know enough about it.
No, I know what you mean.
But I mean, it's so sad to what we're hearing. Dear. But
are we looking for time, Jack?
45 now.
45. Wrap up there? Or?
Yeah, happy with that. I mean, you want to... Is there anything else you'd want to do?
I think I've covered the kind of span.
Some good stories there.
Yeah,
you can pick.
When we're not talking, then that's good. It's a good podcast. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope I haven't bored you. I've only said things from the heart and what I've, And as a Neath boy, there was nothing like playing for U Town. Like when I was injured or something, the ground would be packed. So what I wouldn't come in from the stand end. I'd go to the cricket entrance. Yeah. And I'd see there was thousands coming in at that entrance. They had to put committee men on, the money that was...
Yeah, it was...
I mean, there was no turnstile. It was between the bar and the tennis courts. The baths.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, them days, and then there was no stand there then.
Just like a.
It was just. There was thousands on there. The days that there's nothing like being as a Neath boy playing for your town.
No.
You walk through the town and everybody would say, all the best today, And,
that's nice.
Well, like Boxing Day now, you get 4,000 or 5,000 people there, and it's just. The memories not gonna.
Great.
But it was like
great.
1,000 people watching training.
Yeah, but you'd have in the mornings. You'd have a Boxing Day morning. One Boxing Day morning, I never get it. I was just about starting to play for Neath, and I wasn't playing against Aberafon on the Knoll. So there was no subs then. And there's Walter and Glyn, and so I'd play for the charity game in the morning on Code Herbert.
Yeah.
Boxing Day, Code Herbert, against the oldies, and I was young. Ron Waldron would come around there. Oh, Phil, get off. I'd been playing about an hour. Get off, you're playing. Walter, the chickens are out and the fox is about. What do you say? He said, you're playing against Aberafon this afternoon.
Wow.
So I played an hour in a charity game and all that, and that's what them days are all about.
Yeah, it's different than that.
And we were, at that early days, we were good, but then there was a period where Aberafon beat us about 4 years, and they had a wonderful side. Shell and Bevan and...
Yeah.
And but you can't win every game or every season to win a championship. Welsh Rugby was strong then, and the Gwent sides, Pontypool.
Yeah, they were good. No, but I think from my point of view, obviously we crossed paths. We had that kind of a season. You were just sort of hanging your boots up slightly, and then I was just starting everything. I was only 3 at the time, which is quite young to come to Neath. I was 18, but but just from, we talked about the Hall of Fame stuff like that, right? And until you actually sit down to people who and find out their history. Even though I know a lot of your history.
But you didn't know exactly the dates and times.
And lots of details you've had is that you appreciate and you understand things a lot better. But, like you said about that that transition period between the Brian Thomas era as a player into the darker days, and then the handover, because we crossed over. I really appreciate, because like you're on about leaving the club or leaving the team in a better position than when you started. And you didn't do that. No, you did. You did that. You passed a great team over for us to kind of keep the legacy going.
Well, as I say, the Gloucester game was the turning point, and with Jonathan Davis, when he was a young, no one heard about him yet, and
that tries on YouTube.
Could have gone to Llanelli, and all that,
He did eventually, didn't he?
But I always remember, and I'll end on this then, or whatever, if you're ready. The Lions tour, and Spikey Watkins was telling me this story about Graham Price, on the crosses. We were on a crochet in South Africa, and he said this is true. Charlie in New Zealand Lions tour came down to breakfast one morning late. And he said, waiter, English breakfast, please. Right, okay. Oh, sorry, sir. He said, we've run out of bacon. And Charlie went crazy. He said, you telling me you've got 9 million sheep on this island and you've run out of bacon? And the waiter said, yes, sir. And that's true.
That is a great way to end it.
It is a good one.
That's a true story.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for coming in. This is brilliant.
Thanks for inviting me.
That's the thing with
it's
this.
all off the cuff, and
we can do this just in the club without camera. It's the same.
It's a nice
conversation.
No, Abu was outstanding.
Yeah, brilliant.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
That's brilliant. Thanks for all the camera crew and all the
yeah.
all 5 of you.
The sound man over there.
The sound man, yeah. Oh, lovely.
Diolch yn fawr.
My fathers and never forget about sideburns and side steps and all that before. Now this is your time, boys, it's your turn to score.